Hello and welcome. My name's Melissa Porter.
And my name's Nick Freeman.
Welcome to The Life Coach.
I'm the lawyer.
Join us as together we tackle your toughest problems using our unique combination of wisdom and experience.
Hello.
Morning, Dave. How are you?
All right, Nick. All good, all good.
Hello, Nick Freeman and Melissa Porter. How are you, Dave?
In good spirits.
What's your problem today you'd like to share with us?
So about 2-3 years ago, went through a very interesting marriage. Turns out the ex was having extramarital affairs.
I'm sorry to hear that, Dave.
And to be honest with you, I had some very interesting friends who gave me some very interesting advice. And one was, be the punch bag and take the punches. And to be honest with you, that bit of terminology got me through it. The usual things go on. I had 4 kids, was married about 22 years, thought things were impressive. But noticed some weird behaviour, like strange people coming around knocking on the door. Someone who didn't smoke in 22 years started smoking, going out a bit, and basically weaponising the kids, parental alienation.
How old are the kids, Dave?
One's 21, one's 18, one's 13, and one is 12.
So are you now divorced?
No, it's still going on. Basically, it got a bit, shall we say, problematic in the sense of I had to deal with serving like a non-molestation order, an occupation order, and a child contact order.
So you're navigating a toxic divorce, which I'm so sorry to hear you're having to go through, and you're also co-parenting 4 beautiful children.
So are you now living in separate accommodation, or are you still under the same roof?
No, I am still sofa surfing. I've been registered disabled, and the house was adapted to my needs, and the family court system is in disarray. They expect everyone to have the money to fight. I'm doing litigant in person.
So she has a lawyer and you don't have one, is that correct?
Well, you can guess, Nick, who run off with the family savings, can't you?
My advice will be not to try and look after your own affairs yourself. It is a minefield, it's complex, it's full of law. I don't know what you do for a living, Dave, but you do need some expert advice, otherwise there's a potential for you to be taken huge advantage of.
But how do you get How do you get expert advice when you're starting financially? You've given everything to your family.
Are you eligible for legal aid?
No, because I've got what they would say assets within the house.
They might have been assets that once belonged to you, but they now no longer belong to you. You don't have access to them. So any solicitor worth his salt will be able to say, right, but they're no longer your assets. They're not yours. You can't utilise them, and you may be eligible for legal aid. It's vitally important, even if you were a lawyer, that you didn't try and navigate this yourself, because you've got an emotional involvement, a strong emotional involvement, not only in relation to your finances, but probably much stronger in relation to your children, and that's going to colour your judgment. It's difficult at the very best of times, but to try and do it yourself when you're dealing with everything you've worked hard for, relationships and finances, and of course the investment into your wife, you need some help. You need to establish some distance so you can think clearly. So look, I'm not a divorce lawyer, Dave. I'm actually a criminal defence lawyer, but I would say to you, go and see a local legal aid divorce lawyer.
I did.
He's already done that. What about Mackenzie Friends? I've heard about Mackenzie Friends.
Oh, yes. I've got a lovely lady who's Mackenzie Friends. And to be honest with you, she's like, let's just say I sorted out my full me within about an hour conversation. That only cost me a couple of £100.
Oh, your Form E. I'm familiar with that.
Yeah. To be honest with you, Nick, the family court system is mainly governed at litigants in person.
Yeah, I know.
I know what you're saying.
I understand that.
And the starting point is 50-50, you know what I mean? So
can you not get some advice about tactics, what you should do, how you should approach it, because basically you've got a long marriage with kids,
I
and it's
have
basically...
I have a question. One of the things that I've heard friends talking about when they're going through a divorce is they encourage both parties to stay in the house until an agreement has been made where, upon the separation, upon the point they separate, both adults are comfortable, with
why
living.
have you moved out?
I utilise video evidence, especially when you're getting malicious, vindictive allegations made against you. And basically, I started moving my stuff out, and a couple of days later, I went to get some more bits for me financials and stuff. And lo and behold, I was set up and ambushed. It was supposedly me to go pick up me daughter, but then lo and behold, trying to make a situation a scene. And then I thought, okay. And then I noticed all the locks and doors were changed. So,
Okay, Dave, whose house is it? Is it in whose name?
Joint names, both on the deeds, on the mortgage and everything.
Right. You're entitled to live in that house. And my advice to you will be to go back to that house. It's your house.
With a police escort.
Set up in a separate bedroom. And that's your house, and you remain there very civilly. You don't get involved in any until the matter's resolved. And you need to go. You need to go and do it again.
And
Dave.
what's stopping you doing it again? Nick's telling you that that's the best approach for you.
Yeah, I know. But then when you got a police report saying the kids are colluding with the mother to get the father out of the house, and it's a bit hard when she's already moved her cokehead boyfriend in the house. You know what I mean?
Okay. Another suggestion that I've overheard during these family disputes is that you sort out about selling the house.
Why is it taking so long, Dave? You've been separated, for 2-3 years?
A year and a half, coming up to.
So is the house on the market?
No, this is the problem. You don't need a 5-bedroom house for one child at the moment. The other one's in private fostering. But the scary issue I've got at the moment is the judges see the kids as a priority within the family court system.
Yeah, of course they do.
And the thing is, where I'm registered disabled and the house is adapted to my needs, and I was illegally evicted. And as you're aware, Nick, legal eviction carries 6 months. But when you fall within, it goes down as a domestic, even though I was locked out of my own house.
You need, Dave, I'm sorry to repeat myself, and it's not very imaginative, but you need to go back and get some proper legal advice. You need to pay for it. I don't know whether you work. Do you work?
I do work, but at the moment I'm off with regard to my disability, so I will soldier on.
You need some advice, because at the moment you're just being bullied into this and that. The idea that she's moved in with a boyfriend and you're sofa surfing.
I hear this one too many times. There is a disproportionate amount of women that are causing major problems for relationships, for partnerships post a breakup.
Dave, can I just ask you this question? Have you got what's called a Class F charge registered on the house?
Which is what that is.
Well, it means the house can't be sold unless you consent. It's to
Oh yeah. No, where your tenants in common and stuff.
So your rights, your money in the house.
Automatic interest in the house. Yeah.
That's all covered. Who did that for you?
It's all part of the new laws now. At the end of the day, she can't sell it from under my feet. But it'll be sorted out hopefully at the end of the month. So that's the result.
Okay.
But the scary thing is, it's like where the kids get weaponized against the father. Yeah, you become the big bad boogeyman overnight. Your dad's going to take the house away from you. Your dad's going to make. Yeah, you can't beat that sort of mental anguish and manipulation.
Your youngest child is how old?
12 and 13.
12 and 13. Okay. And what sort of relationship are you seeing them? Do you have access?
No, not at the moment, because it's got the old child in need plan. It's all about the child's feelings and welfare, and we're not sure if we want to see you.
It is difficult, and that's why I fall back to someone making proper representations for you, because otherwise you're like a lamb to the slaughter.
No, in a criminal court, yeah. In a family court, it's a whole new ball game. Family courts are designed to have litigants in person. don't forget, it's about a fair split. It's about assessing
Yeah, no,
each
I
other's
understand that.
needs.
Dave, I was in a family court. I was vexatiously accused of something which was just abhorrent. You know, just you can't even imagine. It's beyond your wildest dreams. So I was advocating some of the time for myself in court. What I do know is that a Mackenzie friend is a really useful tool. Because they have experience, you know, it's not their first rodeo. They have experience with what you're doing. The second piece of advice I'd give is that you mentioned that you're registered disabled.
Yeah.
If you go to your doctor, they will connect you directly with a charity that will see that you are no longer sofa surfing. It is not okay that somebody in your situation is sofa surfing in this day and age. So I would suggest that you go to your GP and just be honest with them, and they will direct you.
I mean, the council have an obligation. The council have an obligation to provide you with accommodation.
Oh, you would say that, Nick. Not entirely true. I was on the homeless register, yeah. The moment it kicked off, because I knew it was brewing, and I had a good friend, because I went through a lot of domestic violence from her. So the local community policing team were bang on it, you know.
Right.
Just as the locks were changed, I phoned up the housing officer, and he goes, "Oh yeah, we can't help you." And I found out from disability charity that is illegal because they're denying me a service.
Yeah, they've got a duty of care towards you, Dave. You know, so
Yeah.
you need to be pursuing that. Can I just ask you? You say you were the victim of physical violence.
Yeah, and
And
also,
have you got medical evidence of that? Have you got report to the police? Have you got any photographic evidence?
it's all over the years.
Right,
And to
so
be honest with you, you don't see the actual financial controlling behaviour. You don't notice it until you're out of the situation,
So you're
out of the
talking about
marriage.
coercive behaviour.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
She
Okay.
was like, alienate you from your friends, spending all the money, and like running off with her wages that went in a separate account. You know.
Can I make a suggestion then? You're going to be a litigant in person. You are. What you need to do is you need to sort of get yourself completely organised. And it sounds that you are, but you need to say, right, I've got my children. I'm going to make a list of all the incidents, everything that's relevant. So you've got date, time, what was alleged, anything like that. So you're in a position, and then you've got incidents with her, then you've got money, and create different headings. So you're able to present cohesive arguments to a judge who's very busy,
Yeah.
who probably won't have an awful lot of patience, and then you're in a position to argue your case, bearing in mind the welfare of the children are of paramount importance. And of course, as a dad, you'd
Yes.
accept that, and you understand that children can be manipulated. But if you present it in a cohesive, calm, unemotional way, the judge will probably see through what's happened to you. But you need to just make notes of everything. So you're preparing your own case. And, and you've got all the information. You're best placed to do that. And if you're not going to use a lawyer...
And one of the things I learnt in court, Dave, was facts, not feelings. A judge does
Yeah.
not want to hear how you feel. They want to know, first of all, is everything is in the best interest of the child. Yeah. So everything
yes.
needs to go through that lens. And secondly, it's facts.
Yeah.
They don't care that you feel scared, that you're frightened.
They're not interested.
They're not interested.
Not at all.
They want to know how you are affecting the welfare of your child.
Correct. And obviously
Well,
they
this is
will...
it, and it's a bit hard if you don't see them.
Well, that's a point you can make. And you can also make a point that the children are being weaponised, manipulated against you. The court will listen to the children as well. So it's a very complex situation, and it may not be resolved to your satisfaction immediately. The house will be sold. If there's an equity left in the house, that will be divided. The children obviously have to have a roof over their heads. But over time, things will sort themselves out. And I know that's not much consolation to you, but your relationship with your children, as they get older and see how you behave, will warm to you as long as you behave in the right way, with dignity, with respect.
Lead by example,
Exactly.
Dave.
You present your best self. You present your best self at all times, Dave, and you're giving yourself the best chance of things turning out the best for you and your kids, and that's the most important thing, isn't it?
You know what it was? About a year and a half ago, someone told me, like, be the punch bag, take the punches, yeah? And the only way I see it is I've been vindicated. I've not been charged. I've not been like arrested as such.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got to present yourself in the best way possible all the
Well,
times,
this is
but more so now than ever, because the spotlight's on you, the microscope's there, and you're going to have a judge looking at the way you behave during these very difficult times. So you rise above it and behaved in the best way possible, and you've got the best chance then of getting the best result.
In the meantime, one of the things that I would suggest you do when you're not seeing your children is write them a letter and put it in an envelope and post it back to yourself or where you're staying at the moment. So you have one day when you see them, because you will, a pile of letters that are all date stamped, so they know exactly, not slagging off their mum, just knowing how you feel about them, how much you love them.
What a good idea. But can I add to that? I think that's
and then
an
we're going to have
excellent
to
idea.
close on
Right,
this.
very quickly, Dave. Send a letter to the house, keep a copy in your own envelope at home, so the kids have an opportunity to read it then. So
I've done all that with the cards.
Do
Nice.
everything you do, duplicate, keep a copy, keep it date stamped. Never slag off your current wife, who's soon to be your ex.
Why lower your standards to their level? You know what I mean?
You're above it. You're absolutely right, Dave.
Yeah.
It won't serve you. It won't serve you, and it won't serve who you really are.
Thank you
Good
for
luck.
being a beacon of kindness and integrity.
And I'm sure you'll look back in a short time to come and understand why you are where you are.
It's all about trust, honesty, and integrity. That's all it is.
Absolutely.
We
Cheers.
wish you
Both
luck.
wish you luck.
Bye-bye, Dave.
Bye. Bye-bye.
I mean, I'm shook by that conversation.
It's sad.
And also
He's being
to hear
exploited.
that someone says you ought to be used as a punch bag. So I remember dating a man that was abusive towards me. And I remember a woman that had introduced me to him. And she said, "Better the devil you know, Melissa." And it ran through my veins like poison.
Better no devil. But what's sad for me is that's obviously horrific. But women or men who weaponize children against the other party, it's disgusting, isn't it? Because they're polluting that child's mind. And the one golden rule is when you're getting a divorce, you just don't try and influence your children in that way. You try and do what is best for them, and ideally both parties agree to that.
The problem is with a divorce, there are certain toxic parents that believe that if they have allies in their children against their ex, that they are more powerful. What they don't realise in that process is ultimately they will ruin the mental health and the well-being of the child. Why? Because they are severing a really important relationship with a crucial parent.
I agree.
I'm so passionate about that.
And in time to come, that those children that were weaponised by, say, the mother, will probably turn against the mother when they realise what's happened. Because they'll realise, I've lost all that time with my dad and you've poisoned me, and it just wasn't true what you were saying. You didn't need to do it.
And by the way, this is not just women that are weaponising.
No.
There's
It's
men
both
as well that are
of course, both
weaponising. I
parties
was in a
equally.
situation, absolutely.
So it's not the exclusive preserve of any gender.
No.
It just shouldn't happen. It's
But
a
imagine
practice.
having to sofa surf when you own a house. I mean,
don't understand.
why can't you? Why can there not be a situation whereby you amicably?
He shouldn't have moved
It's
out.
always to do
He
with
shouldn't have moved-
finances.
but he shouldn't have moved out. He was bad.
Is that your advice?
Definitely don't move out. You don't move out until a lawyer says, right, you move out, and until there's an agreement. You can't do that.
Stay stum.
You can't.
Don't cause arguments with your ex.
That's easier said
Yeah,
than done,
let them
isn't it?
come in with their new partners. Stay stum.
When the kids are there and you want to live there, it's difficult, isn't it?
Lock yourself in your bedroom.
It's difficult.
He
Very,
shouldn't
very
be
difficult.
sofa surfing.
It's not ideal
hideous.
to have kids exposed to that, is it?
No. Good. Okay. Thanks, Nick. If you'd like to be part of our show, please do send us an email to admin@melissaportercoach.com.